Ahlan wa sahlan. Right now we're going to talk about derived verb patterns 2 and 5, what we would call in Arabic wazn, fa'ala, and wazn, tafa'ala. Remember that in Arabic, convention dictates that we refer to these forms by their past tense conjugation for huwa. In English, we often refer to them just as forms 2 and form 5. Mechanically, the great thing about all of these derived verb patterns is that they're going to stay pretty much the same. If I know how to conjugate one, if I know how the vowels work with one, I know how they all work. So, for form 2 in the present tense, I would need to add that shadda on the middle letter of the judr, the root, and possibly change the vowels in the present tense. So instead of yaf'al in form 1, I have yufa'il for form 2. We already know this verb, yudarris, to teach. And notice that form 2 often has kind of a transitive meaning. It usually takes an object, usually, not always, but usually, and it often has the meaning of to make someone or something do form 1. The form 1 of that same judr, dal rasin, is yadrus. So when we teach, عندما هو يدرس, ostensibly, someone who teaches is making someone else study or learn. Another good example would be the verb yahmal, which in form 1 means to carry, but in form 2 means something like to load up, right? The way you load up a ship or a donkey. You make someone or something else carry things. So if I want to apply the same paradigm, the same template, I just add these vowels, add that shadda, and I wind up with yuhammil. So these are what changed. Form 2 also can have a meaning of intensifying an action. In form 1, we have a verb yaqta, which sort of means to cut. We could say, for example, huwa yaqta al-warqa. He cuts the paper. Maybe he takes a piece of scissors and slices it right in half. But in form 2, it has a slightly different, more specific meaning of chopping something up into little bits. So in form 2, we might say yuqatta'a al-khadrawat. I'm running out of room here. Khadrawat. He cuts up the vegetables to make dinner. Form 5 is formed, again, just following this pattern. One little difference is that the present tense vowels are all fathas until we get to the casing at the end, which we don't need to worry about discussing right now. But we also have a ta at the beginning that we tack onto the beginning of the judr. So that ta is always going to be there. It's going to stick there in the past tense, in the present tense, in the masdar. One form 5 verb that you might know is yatakhassas. Present tense conjugated for huwa. Oops. Yatakhassas, meaning to specialize. Notice that form 5 verbs, again, are usually pretty intransitive in meaning. Often they're reflexive. The subject of the verb is also the object. I can say هو يتخصص في الهندسة. He specializes in engineering. Or أنا أتخصص في اللغة العربية. I specialize in the Arabic language. But I can't really specialize someone else, right? I could be an advisor to someone, I could help them, but this verb can't really be used to refer to someone else. Often, we see sort of matching pairs of Form 2 and Form 5 verbs that work together so that we can express those shades of meaning. Sometimes you want to talk about something with an object, changing another thing or another person. Sometimes you want to talk about internal changes that happen to or within oneself. So the verb in Form 2 for change in Arabic would be, in the past tense, غير. Again, we add that shadda. This is in the past tense. So if I want to say, I changed the color of the kitchen, I could say غيرت لون المطبخ. The color was one thing, I went and changed it. I am the subject, the color, لون المطبخ is the object. If I want to talk about internal or spontaneous changes, though, I would need to use Form 5 because that is the reflexive internal kind of change. So I would take the same judr, ghain, ya, ra, and I would put it into Form 5. I would add that ta and keep the shadda. For example, my sister, she changed after she went and studied at college. تغيرت أختي بعد الدراسة في الجامعة. This seems like a little thing, but it really is important because it's slightly incorrect if we use one where we mean another. If I said غيرت أختي بعد الدراسة في الجامعة, in Arabic it would leave my interlocutor, the person listening to me, with kind of a question. Okay, what did she change? My sister changed something. غيرت شيء آخر. Or if I said تغير لون المطبخ, that would imply a spontaneous change in the color of the kitchen wall. Do we have a leak somewhere? Why is it brown when yesterday it was white, right? It would have certain very different implications. One other example, just to demonstrate how this pair works. You might remember the word souq, meaning a market, a place where we go to buy things. And we can take that judr, sin wal qaf, and turn it into two verbs. If I use Form 2, then it means to market something in the business sense. So I could say, the company markets clothes. تسوق الشركة الملابس. Here I have an object. What does the sharika market? What is it trying to sell? Malabis. But if I use it in Form 5, it means market in a different sense, kind of more like to-go marketing, or more simply, in colloquial English, to-go shopping. So I could say, I go shopping. Literally, I go marketing every Saturday. That's when I buy my groceries and my toothpaste, etc., etc. أتسوق fi, yom, sept. I get my shopping done on Saturday. Not all roots, not all juzur are going to use both forms in every single case, but in general, these are a pretty predictable pair. So we want to learn to recognize them when we're reading, when we're listening, and think about the implications for any given sentence because it can affect things. And we definitely want to start trying to control them so that we wind up saying exactly what we mean, so that we wind up talking about me painting the kitchen wall, changing the color myself, instead of implying that something fishy is going on in my house.